I'm Myra.
And I'm Tressa. We are fancy marketing people with Union, a Wyoming-based telecommunication company. Yes, Wyoming really does exist. We proudly serve the Rocky Mountain region.
On this podcast, we will feature businesses, organizations, nonprofits, and influential people from Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming.
Our mission is to highlight those who inspire their communities daily.
We believe this makes us truly authentic because a journey of 1,000 miles always begins with a single step.
Good morning.
Myra. Hello. I'm just going to keep saying good morning to
I guess it's still good morning. It's 10:25.
Yeah, it's a long life.
Yeah.
Not even a long day. It's a long season.
Well, it would be a long season if you're always stuck in morning and you never move to afternoon or evening. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more productive in the morning, so maybe that's
why.
I feel like I'm really getting it. Today is my 4-year anniversary at work.
That's right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't believe it. It feels like eternity.
Eternity.
Yeah.
4 years. Yeah.
It feels longer than 4 years in a good way, not in a bad way.
Well,
I like my job. Don't fire me.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I don't know how to take that. But.
No, it's all good things. It's good things. It feels like because there's just been so much change and good things that have happened and growth. It feels like it's been a lifetime instead of just a short period of time.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing you can always count on if you're working at Union. Constant change.
Yeah.
So if you like stability, you like everything static, this is not the job for you. No.
How long have you been at Union? Is it 27?
I think it's 27. I think it'll be 28
What
next
year did you
year.
start?
96.
Yeah, it'll be 28.
Right? Yeah, 96.
Because it's the year after I was born.
Yeah. Beautiful. I don't feel old at all.
My entire lifespan.
I have worked here.
Yeah. Way to make you feel real good today.
I mean, you are wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm feeling so youthful.
Yeah, don't fire me twice now.
You're batting 1,000, girl.
I know. I'm like, dang. Well, this is it. My final episode, everyone. Glad to be here.
The final episode. The first one we decided to try to record with video. Yeah.
And then
it's the last time you'll see Myra. Enjoy it.
Yeah. The end.
I'm joking. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, when I started, we were just starting into wireless. Wireless was just starting to become a thing, right? And it was back when bag phones. So, I mean, I've seen so much change.
Yeah.
You know?
I think my dad kept it
impressive.
for a really long time.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in our minivan.
Yeah.
And that thing was dusty.
I bet.
How do you clean those? Imagine that in the car, like in the console of a minivan with children.
Yeah.
How do you even keep that clean?
I have no idea. I don't think you do.
It just,
Yeah.
Is it like a Carhartt jacket? And like, I kind of think of Carhartt jackets like a cast iron skillet.
Yeah.
Where you just let it season.
Like, dust
you got to
it
let
off.
it
Yeah.
season. So like
It's
just
good to
season
be
the
dirty.
back
Yeah.
phone. Yeah.
It's perfect.
It just makes it a little more rustic quality. But I saw that, the other day, like comparing those two. You just season it.
Yeah.
So, all right, you season your bag phone.
You season your bag phone. That's how you keep.
I wonder if they'll come back. Everything else is coming back.
Man, I don't think so. What? Carrying a backpack with your phone?
Your baby
your
on the
Bluetooth
front.
headset. Yeah.
And then the phone on the back. That's a way to really disconnect.
That's probably not going to reappear, but who knows? Never say never.
We should do a spoof. Like we're bringing them back.
We should.
That's
That'd be
hilarious. That'd be a funny April Fool's prank.
Watch for that campaign.
Advertise. We're bringing the back phones back. We're taking it way back. Yeah. Oh, we should do that for the 100. Is it 124 years?
Next year is 110.
110. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, 2024 is where I got my math. So I just scooted some numbers into there.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny. Oh, I have great ideas. I can't wait to jot those down.
I know. I think we have a meeting to brainstorm for that soon.
Yeah,
so
I've got
you're
a whole
ahead of the game.
Wow. There we go.
There we go.
Well, for those who listen and those who also will see our advertisement, I really just spoiled it for you. So
yeah.
I ruined it.
Or we may not do it. You never know.
No,
So stay
we're
tuned.
going to. I'm just kidding.
We're going to.
There's no choice.
We'll watch for this.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm sorry. We've been very giddy. So we are so happy to have our guest here.
Yeah, we are.
With us. We have the lovely Dr. Nycole Courtney. She is the Associate Vice President Associate Vice President of Student Affairs and the Dean of Student Success and Graduation at the University of Wyoming. Hello.
Hi, Nycole.
Good morning, ladies. What a fun time. I'm so excited to be with you and beyond thankful for the opportunity to just engage and have a nice dialogue with really amazing humans who care deeply about students. So just beyond thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So to start, can you just dive into your title? Like, hello, Queen Court, okay,
God.
This is happening. So if you want to start there, can you break it down?
Sure.
Are they separate or do they coincide? How does this work?
Yeah, they're both together. And you guys, I found my dream job, which is like hard, right? When you find your dream job and you guys talking about working and having your 4-year anniversary, it just feels nice when you feel like you're at your own place. You have a sense of belonging and you are like, yes, this feels dynamite. I feel really great. I have an amazing team, both administrative team above me, teammates beside me, and my colleagues work. And then just folks that work within our office are also amazing. And it's been a real pleasure. I've only been in my role for about 3 years, and 2 of which were in COVID. So it has been a little bit of a journey, if you will, more of like a experiment, to be honest with you. But I've spent a lot of time in higher ed. I was in a community college system for about 15, 17 years and worked my way through all of the sides of the house. I taught, and then I also worked inside student affairs. And I'm a transfer student myself, and I'm a first-gen student. And so those 2 things combined are like really hard, and I've beat a lot of odds. I feel like I've climbed Mount Everest a few times in my life. That's sort of my life journey and motto is like, how hard can it be? Oh, really hard. You keep going. But was given an opportunity to take on this role and work closely with our VP of Student Affairs and our provost at the University of Wyoming, and really who are connected and care deeply about student success. And so I've been able to literally just home grow some really important values and concepts at this institution, which are supporting students and their success. That's all I get to do. And so really promoting and supporting our VP of Student Affairs, Kim Chestnut. She's amazing. She's doing incredible work, and getting to work alongside her, and then a lot of my other colleagues as well. But being the first in my title, it's an inaugural position at the institution. So it's something that hasn't ever existed before. And co-creating and inventing with the provost and the VP and our dean of students and our alumni affairs folks, and creating a wonderful division of student affairs that supports students. But my job also straddles academic affairs, which is really cool. So I get to kind of do both. I get to work inside academic affairs and work closely with our faculty and talk about how we make success for students in the classroom, and then outside of the classroom as well. So that's kind of my job in a nutshell. My partner also works at the institution, and he is on the other side of the house, which is finance, and that is complicated and not for me. So we're actually both doing great things, but just in different ways. And finance is not my jam, so I'm staying real far away from that. And get to raise a beautiful family. I have twin 12-year-old daughters who just played soccer in New Mexico. So I've been traveling a little bit and excited to just show what we have and share with you, like, how do we make better partnership, and how is Union kind of paving the way for success as well?
I love that.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, I like how she described her 3 years. I that's
know.
what I meant.
That's what you meant.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Way to save her, Nycole.
Yeah,
Way to save her.
That's what I meant. Yeah, and let's go first gen. Love that. So
I love that.
I'm a first gen too, so I love it.
I was like, she's so passionate, and you get to be creative, and I love that aspect compared to what your partner does. No offense, but I wouldn't be into that either.
That's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a dream job, literally. And it has been something really incredible. We just built this amazing peer mentoring program, and it's just awesome. And they had these headphones for me. So they were downstairs doing some of their own work. And I'm like, this is perfect. You guys helping me out every minute of the day. So
that's great. So yeah, the Student Success Program, I believe that's what you guys are calling this, right? And this is the second year that the university has done this, if I'm correct?
Yeah, so we created Student Success and Graduation Hub in 2020. So we were kind of the first cutting edge, if you will, along other institutions, but really kind of setting the pace for Wyoming, as it's the only university. And we're really concerned about our students having access to higher ed, continuing through equity gaps throughout their college career, and making a difference, right? Getting whatever their goal is met by the time that they graduate and go out and find their amazing job that they want to work in. So it's been in existence for about 3 years, but we're called the Student Success and Graduation Hub, but we really focus on the institutional wide retention, persistence, and graduation rates of all students. So it doesn't matter what your major is. It doesn't matter what you're coming in for. It doesn't matter what your test scores are. We're here to support you all the way through. My goal is to focus on undergraduate, because I think there's a lot of students that have graduate program opportunities, and we have a dean for those students as well. But this has really been a project that's focusing on, like, how do we close the equity gaps around retention? How do we make sure our students are graduating on time, 4 or 5 years with less debt, and understanding like affordability and working closely with the financial models and making sure students have access, but supporting them, right? Like building community and talking about you belong here, regardless of where you come from, regardless of your background, regardless of socioeconomic status, minority status. We care about every single student that says yes to the institution. That's our goal. And so we're really supporting them. We're inviting them to things, right? Post-COVID, I think students have really struggled with making connections and feeling like they're a part of something, and being, isolated. Really, that's really what it comes down to. I think we all felt that a little during COVID. And so have been really trying to just, challenge my own barriers, what I went through as a student, but then also what it would have been like to be like a student and in COVID. And so I have a mental health background. I'm a counselor by trade. I've worked in multiple areas, but my master's is in therapy, and have really tried to strengthen the opportunity that exists with our students to build community and talk about it's okay that you don't have all the answers. It's okay that you might feel like you are challenged, but like we're supporting you, and you just need to know those. And we just have to meet together to figure out what we can help support you with along the way. We also talk a lot about data. We talk a lot about what does data do for us, and how does data inform what we're doing, because data driven doesn't always mean that that's the right answer, but data informed. And talking about, like, we know our students are struggling who are first gen. We know students in Wyoming who come to a big institution for the first time are struggling. And so how do we support them? So that's kind of it in a nutshell in the last 3 years. And we call ourselves the Student Success and Graduation Hub. And it's the first stop where students should go if they're struggling or parents are struggling. We're building a huge parent program that's supporting parents of first-gen students, but all parents as well. Like, my parents had no idea what it was like to go to college. They were like, yeah, good luck. And still, even today, they're like, what does that even mean? I'm like, well, it just means that I'm out here supporting other people like myself who didn't know what to do, or didn't have someone guiding them through the financial process, or talking through them like their first F on a test or their first breakup, right? And so that's part of what I get to do, is navigating all of those obstacles and wrapping our hands around helping students.
Yeah, I love that. Speaks so much to me. I was a part of a similar program in school, being first gen, and I was on the other side of it. I was part of the mentoring. Like, I mentored the first gen students, and there were a lot of transfer students, and that alone is just so isolating, especially coming from a rural community into a larger populated place. I mean, my dorm, I think, had more students in it than the town of Kimmer. So, it was just a total shock. And I love that you hit on that. I was a top of my class, and then I took these courses, and I'm making a 5 on a test. How is that happening? Why is this happening to me? And then I went through something very traumatic my first semester. I lost my father. And so you're already isolated. You're already going through these struggles. And then all of a sudden I had this huge thing happened to me. And most of my professors were like, you should take a break. You should leave. And I'm like, no, statistically, I will never return. So please let me stay. And so hearing you talk about that, I relate to it so much because I've been on that end. So I could not imagine sprinkling COVID into that. Like, I just don't know what I would have. I'm a roll with the punches kind of gal. Maybe I would have figured it out, but I can't imagine the emotional gap there with those students where they're already feeling A, B, C, D, and then here comes this, and then they're trying to navigate it. So I really love that this program has really bloomed here, especially with the mental health in Wyoming and being one of the top, states for suicide, that it's a big deal and we need these type of programs. And so the fact that the university is taking action and moving forward, that is just amazing, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, yeah.
When you talk about COVID, humans are made for connection, right? And especially when they're going through a transitional time, they really need that connection. And so I can only imagine like you coming into your role and here is, one of these huge life experiences that who knows how to deal with it? No one knew what to do, right? So I applaud you for getting through that. And what do you think the difference has been since you started that during like the pandemic, now that people can get out? Like, how have you seen the program evolve?
Yeah, Myra and Tressa, first and foremost, we couldn't do this work without partnership like you guys. And the story that you just offered, Myra, is incredible. And I applaud you for your bravery and your commitment to education. I think, one of the biggest things that struck me was I was also given this job in March of 2020. So March of 2020, talk about like a big hurdle. Like this is like one of those Mount Everest things I get to do in my daily life, I guess, is like, if there's a challenge, like, oh, give it to Nycole, she'll figure it out. I make the impossible possible sometimes, I feel like, but we were sitting around in my garage and I was like, I really have no idea. Like, this is going to be really hard. We just sent like thousands of students home. And how are we ever going to get them back here? How are we ever going to be like, hey, we care about you. We want you to know that this is really important. And like, you just spent a lot of money and we're here to support you. And so we created what was called Cowboy Coaches. And that's the program that you're all kind of working through right now. And this is that peer mentoring program. And it's like this one-on-one peer mentoring counseling kind of like ish program. It doesn't do therapy, right? But the idea is that you have someone who's connected to you, building all of these things together, and really talking through like, sorry, my phone just rang. Do you see all of that? That's exciting.
No,
Oh,
no, it's hidden.
Sorry.
Surprise.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, surprise. It's my kids. They don't have school today. And so I didn't give them the warning to not call me like you guys did with your family, which is really smart. But we really were trying to be inspirational to say, if I were sent home, who would call? Like, does anyone actually care? And so we brought on this like small group. I started with 5 students that wanted to help peer mentor. And it just said like, we have no money. Like, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we got some startup funds from the VP of Student Affairs. And she was like, okay, I trust, just go. And so I paid these students hourly to make phone calls to every student we sent away and just literally talk to them on the phone and just say like, how's it going? What do you need? How can we support you? We're going to come back in face-to-face and it will just be a matter of time. And we can't wait to see you. And then, it was kind of disheartening for a minute because I was like, I don't know when we're ever really going to come back, right? COVID just sort of kept lingering and was there and it was really hard. And so we then kind of turned it over to the students. And I said, you guys are the experts. You're the ones experiencing this. I only know tangentially because I am now I'm a profession. I work in this space. And so this is part of what I want to do, but you tell me. And I kind of almost wanted to give up on the program. And to be honest with you, these 5 students were like, we're not giving up on this program, Dean Courtney. Like, you have done everything possible to make this work. And I want you to be like a part of it. And so we went on and they created this program where now we're seeing incredible results, right? So now we're seeing students who come in for Cowboy Coaching actually are getting benefits of retention. So last year, we first ran some data. We saw students that visited their cowboy coach one or more times retained at 98%. And so they are finally feeling connected to humans and they're seeing the results. And we're doing like surveys like, what is it that you like about seeing your cowboy coach? What are you needing more of? And there are things like, I need more time with my cowboy coach so I can learn study skills. I just want to talk about relationships, or I just want to get connected. But our students are doing this work because of the work that you guys have provided back to us. So Union has offered to help support mental wellness, and all of our cowboy coaches are now trained. Oh my gosh, you guys, everything is blowing up in my fridge because I have had no heat in my office. Oh my gosh, seriously. Oh my goodness. So sorry.
That's okay.
And so they were, so those students are now saying like, this is what we're building. This is what's so great about it. And we're just seeing results. But because of the work you guys have dedicated to us, every student is now doing mental first aid, mental health, wellness training. And so we're paying them to go get this training that is providing one-on-one support to see these signs or symptoms. And what does it mean to like not be well? And so then they can physically kind of be the resource or the will, if you will, to getting them to or connected to the right space on campus. So if it's something that the student feels like they can't handle, then we're getting them to the right place, like counseling centers or to the student health center. But if it's something like, I failed my first test and I really don't know what to do, I need support, that cowboy coach is right there connecting them to real resources, talking about note-taking, talking about even just like, how are you studying? Oh, you work till 2 a.m. Man, that could be real challenging. So how do we talk about like, maybe thinking about working on campus within your schedule, et cetera. So it's a work in progress. It's changed every year. It's not been consistent yet. We have our second year right now being a lot more consistent, but it morphs because students' needs morph, and so do our demographics.
So do you apply for this program, or are you placed in the program?
Ooh, that's a great question. So you can apply to be a cowboy coach, but you cannot be a freshman. So you have to have had at least 1 year of experience, and it is a paid position. So all of our coaches are paid, and we have some grad students, but we also have a lot of sophomores through seniors. And then every student that participates in this program called Saddle Up, which is our orientation, welcome back academic academy, they have to be here for 1 week prior to the school starting. And we build in some, they take a class together, they build community together, and then they're introduced to their cowboy coach for the rest of the year together. And those students are then placed in by major with our cowboy coaches. So a cowboy coach might be, an engineering major. And so they would only get engineering students assigned to them.
Oh, that's very cool. I love that you're evolving though, right? Because everything is an evolution. So these are mentors who can help them with academic or non-academic issues that they're experiencing, from what I'm hearing from you. I love that.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
No, absolutely. Yeah. You have to, right? Because I think, you can never, I think I heard you say this earlier, Tressa, like, if you're going to work at Union, nothing stays stagnant, right?
That's right.
You can't.
Yeah.
You have to be capable of meeting the market and talking to the customer. And our number one customer is our students. And so how do we ask them to help us guide and know what they need? We just ask. That's who they are. That's what we should be doing. And so we're very student centered. But yeah, you're right. There are so many ways.
What do you think is the top reason for like freshmen or any student for attrition or dropout at the University of Wyoming?
That's also a great question, and something I think we're all still trying to figure out and struggle with. This summer, we also pay our cowboy coaches to stay through the summer. And part of what we do is we do callback campaigns. And so we spend the entire summer talking to students who have been here like in the spring, right? But they leave for summer and they're not registered for the fall. And so something we've done is really spend some time dialoguing with those students via phone, because we want to be personally connected to them. And we want to say, hey, what's going on? Like, what resource do you need? Oh, you are financially struggling. Okay, here's some micro grants. One of the really cool things we were able to do in the last year is create some small micro grants to help students who were seniors get across the finish line. And they had some small financial hurdles. And so we created some micro grants for some of those students. some of them are feeling like they don't belong, right? So still that support mechanism. Or my mom and dad really needed me back at home. And so we're still trying to like then have that conversation about, well, while you're at home, you could do these classes online, or you could be thinking about coming back in the fall. So it's financial to some extent, but a lot of it is, students are good consumers. And so what they're doing is also they're consuming the rest of the world. So if they can get the class somewhere else, they're looking somewhere else. It could be anything from just like, I don't feel like I belong, or I don't have a community, financial, or like, I need my results right now, right here. Right. And so some of that is also like, we got to be quicker. We got to be ready to navigate their challenges right there, then in that moment. And that's something that we're working through as well.
That's cool. So I was a freshman 10 years ago, and it's really neat to hear all the things you're talking about, or all the things I felt, all the things I had to work through as a student. Those things that haven't changed. I mean, it's basic human essential needs, the things that they need at this age. And so like the program I was a part of is very similar. And so when I applied to it, that was my driving force, is because I felt all of these things and could help relate to them and work through it with them. And it's just wild to think they're still going through the same things. It doesn't change, even with the generational difference, it's still some of the different, the things that they're seeking out, the things that they're struggling with. My mom needed me at home. So in order to finish my last semester, I ended up taking summer courses and graduated early to meet the needs of something that my mom my parent asked of me. And that's hard, because you're trying to make these decisions as a young adult that will impact for the rest of your life, but you also have a parent or a family member who's saying, I need you. Yeah. So how do you emotionally navigate that, because it's like, are you selfish or are you not selfish? So those things, they don't change. And so that's just really interesting to hear how the program is still helping navigate that for students today.
Yeah, it sounds like the core needs are still there. But one of the things that Nycole said I found interesting was, generationally, though, the younger generations do expect things in immediate times, right? Yes. Because Myra's already shared my age now, because, we talked about that earlier. But, we ordered something and waited a week for it to arrive, or possibly even longer than that, right? That isn't the way that the world works today. So they're used to that instant gratification, that instant result. So I found that interesting that you commented on that. You guys are having to speed up whatever their needs are. You're having to meet those immediately or very quickly, these younger generations.
Yeah, I think that is part of the challenge. I think that's part of I think that's part of what our own country is struggling with in its own way, right? Not just in higher ed, but I think instant gratification, and that things take time to turn into something really beautiful. And I think the same is true. It can be applied in higher ed. I think one of the things that we try to really work on with our students is like the core value of like, it's okay to endure some hard things. It's okay to have stress. Like, stress is not bad, right? It's part of the healthy human system. It's how you manage it and how you deal with it is really important. And so we spend a lot of time doing trainings with these students over and over about like, how do you also have your own mental health, and how do you also, like, you're taking on someone else's kind of world. And so how do you also help those students that might need help as cowboy coaches? And so we spend a lot of time working with them and building them up as well, because they're going through things very similarly. And so I think instant gratification is just something we're always trying to combat, but a lot of things take time and growth. And so it's okay. And your brain needs some time to grow and develop as well. And that's why those first 4 years are critical. But those basic human skills are something that will never go away. I think it doesn't matter if you go to college, you go to trade school, you go to anything, life doesn't stop when you turn 18. It actually probably sort of happens. And so we want to embrace all of those things and let people know that it's normal to experience hardships, to experience life. And sometimes you have to just step away, and sometimes we'll be here when you're ready, regardless of what that situation might be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you joining us today, Nycole. It's been a beautiful conversation. We're starting something new because our podcast is called Authentic Wyoming. So we want to ask one final question, and we want to ask you, how do you stay authentic?
Ooh, I love that question, ladies. I think it just goes back to like my own core values, which are, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for a faculty member at my community college that told me like, you can actually do what you want to do. You can be who you want to be. And regardless of the barriers you face or the things that are kind of holding you back, go and do and conquer. And so for me, that's really how I stay authentic, is just to continue to build and pay it forward, right? That we all have things that are in our way. We're all fighting battles regardless of what day it is. And so all I'm trying to do is just help make sure someone understands that you don't have to do it alone. You have people here to support you. And that as a community, we can't do it alone, right? And so these beautiful partnerships that you guys are offering is something I'm never going to take for granted. And I think that's how we stay authentic, right? Is that we just go back to those core values that I want to pay it forward and I want to help make the world a little better place each day.
Yeah, I love that. It absolutely takes a village. I believe that. Yeah, no one can do it alone. So,
well, awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for your partnership. And hopefully maybe next time when you bring the bag phone, I'll be there. It'll be awesome.
You can be in the ad. Yeah.
We'll recruit you for next April.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you, Nycole.
Until next time.
Stay authentic.